Hey, what's going on, guys? Drama 22. Just a little bit of a video here, working against a game CFM versus one of the best players in the league, multiple Super Bowl winner. He's in my division, so you're gonna get some. We're working here on offenses. I'm um, working the Texas Coast updated version. You're gonna see the play call sheet that I've talked about, kind of happening live here. If you have a copy of that, that's one of my first plays in the first 15. Trying to get a feel for. I think during the game I was actually writing down what he was doing, and at this point I was writing it down. So we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus more a little more execution, maybe some situational stuff. But I'm pretty sure that was inside zone. And then on defense, I'll be running the wide nine. Again, my version of it. So there are some fronts in there that are a little bit different. I do carry a couple three down fronts in there just for certain people that are really tough. I hate to use that word, but yeah, anyway, so you're going to see here with the personality of the Texas Coast for people who are listening from that standpoint. There's going to be under center, there's going to be gun, there's a good mixture of formations. You're going to see 3x1, you're going to see some 3x1 nub, and you're also going to see a little bit of. I do need some motion more. I think that's something I don't know if I did a lot in this game, but this play in particular right there is not a personality play. That's more of a first 15 play. It's a safe play. I talked about it already. On how to put into a category. It's really just again just an individual route concept to one side, more like a smash, a weak smash, a weak flood concept. Again, I'm just trying to read coverage there, guys. I won't do that every game. I just wanted to. This is a good opponent. I need to kind of get my quarterback going a little bit. So 3rd and 10, I think I play give up football. Give up football means I'm showing that I'm passing with some fake audibles, fake hot routes, and I'm just gonna run draw. So every now and then I do this, especially if I feel like I don't want to risk it. I get lucky, man. Jacobs is a beast, and I actually truck a couple guys and get a touchdown. So that's one of those things about Madden. You got to have plays like that in order to win games versus good players. And if you're not getting those lucky plays every now and then and lucky touchdowns, you're probably not going to win. Okay, versus one of the elite players. All right, so let's go on defense here now. I'll talk a little bit about what this guy does on offense, which makes life a little bit harder for me in this situation. But it's not like I'm trying to get on him. It's just something that I've seen players do that kind of gets players open. I wouldn't highly recommend it, guys. I don't think it's 100% realistic, but I'm trying to understand. I don't really have to talk to him about it. I don't understand the reads necessarily, but again, situational. If you're using my book, the 5-2 is part of the book, right? Which is part of the real life Niners book and Texans book. I just added it to the Texans book recently. So I'm going to come out versus full house. So anytime you get like the three backs in the backfield sets, and people usually run option or they run lead plays. 5-2 to me is really good. And a lot of times what I end up doing is kind of spreading that 5-2. It kind of ends up becoming an odd front. All right. So you'll see me here and I'll kind of spread the line. And then I have like an odd front here, right? And then again, going back to the philosophy of just run fits and Madden, unfortunately, you just have to have backers that are working downhill. Sometimes they don't and you have to take chances sometimes. So no matter what the coverage is, a lot of times I will blitz user. I would actually put one of these linebackers on a blitz and user the other one. Now it's kind of taking a risk, but at the same time, 1st and 10 to start a game, most people are either going to come out and run or play action. And if you blitz one of the linebackers in that situation, you're not going to really be wrong. Okay, if they go drop back pass, then you're in a little bit of trouble. But who's really drop back passing out of this formation, right? So just have to make sure your blitz angles are good. It's going straight down. All right. Actually, as soon as I say that, right, who goes drop back pass? Well, this guy's a good player, so he went drop back pass. Okay, but I was in cover one, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, everybody's still covered because one of the backs stayed in the block, right? So I stayed on my guy. Everything was pretty good. It's just this guy got open. So cover one and a 5-2. You don't have to spread the front. You can just run it normal. I just do that sometimes. All right, single back dice slot. So guys who follow me over the years, I'm giving you guys like I wanted to do this for you guys. I feel like guys who might be trying out the defense, and a lot of people might be trying out. There's a lot of little things. It's kind of like you need to have a checklist of what fronts are good, what formations are good versus certain offensive sets. Okay, really to stop the run. So nickel over is the way I get lined up versus single back dice slot. All right. So under center formations, I usually don't use the wide nine. I usually use over, okay? Just because of the front up front. I'm going to show you something here. And I end up squeezing the front a lot as well versus under center. Now, why am I doing this? Well, the reason why is because a lot of under center plays in general, a lot of people love to run inside zone. They love to run dives. They love to run traps, okay? So because of that tendency in the Madden world, you need to get everybody squeezed in. I hate to say it. You're going to end up getting this five technique here, really, kind of with that defensive tackle, and this guy gets into a tight five. If there's some sort of play where somebody's pulling or something like that, these tight fives will bend a lot tighter, okay? And then also, if we get a double team block here and they run stretch outside zone, you already have an overhang player right now versus this 2x2 set. So we don't really need I'd rather him play. This guy will play fine out here, but if we had a wide end and the ball cuts back in here, he doesn't fold back inside well enough. So again, this is a little bit of Madden talk. This isn't. I can't say this is what I would ever do in coaching, but in coaching, you would tell your guys to fit faster. And then the big key here is also I always use or I try to use the backer that's in the B gap bubble weak, the open B gap. That's what it's called. Okay. So this is the open side where there's no tight end. Okay, on the line of scrimmage. Tight end's over there. So I usually try to use this guy. So 'cause I want to fit down into that gap because most teams run inside zone in Madden. Most people run inside zone to the left. Okay. And so I want those blockers to come off right now. Oops. I want the blockers to come off fast. Okay. Hold on 1 second here. This is all screwed up when I do this. Give me 1 second here. All right, good. Fixed it. All right, so let's just watch this play here. Again, we're just going through this game. I think this is a good video for people who just want to run the defense and just understand now coverage wise, cover one, cover three. You can run three sky if you're running D'Amico style. You can run three seam if you're running Schwartz style. You could also work some two inverts in there if you want to work the Schwartz style. And that's pretty much it. And you can also do some other things with disguising once we get into big nickel over G. Now, even me standing in the gap, this isn't anything about like I'm trying to influence the run or pass. Again, if you watch Jim Schwartz, that's the guy that I watch the most. His linebackers are sometimes at the heels of the defensive line. They are not always back. Now, some of the other teams like D'Amico and the 49ers current situation, they play their linebackers back here at 5 yards. I think that's stupid. Going back to when I was a college and high school player, I mean, this is how our linebackers played in this style of defense. 8-man gap spacing. If you played a 4-4, 4-2-5, anything of that sort, where you had two backers in the box like this, you need to have those guys close. That's my opinion, and it's better. So what I want is I want this guard to come off of me now, so that it can free up this kind of this one eye, this kind of gap technique to potentially make a tackle. You sit back here and let them double team and work up off to you, you're in trouble. All right, so that's something there. And then also you got to be comfortable with calling some single linebacker blitzes. So if you're not just calling base coverage, call cover one linebacker blitz or call cover one hole and blitz the whole player. Okay, so anyway, there's a lot of talk here in the beginning, but we'll get some more examples. This one I got lucky that, Bosa's a beast. I stood there. I probably should have shot a little sooner, but I didn't. And Bosa ended up getting inside. But again, he's doing this because he's a tight five. If he was in a 9 technique out here, then you'd be in trouble. Again, if I go back and show you films from the Browns, you see Garrett, you see those guys. Those guys are like stunning inside sometimes. You watch the Texans, watch Anderson. He's not always outside wide. Sometimes they're playing games with that. The wide nine is good for the pass rush, but if you know a team's not passing and they're doing things to try to work against your wide nine, then you're going to play games with that guy. So I think that's part of the secret of the defense. It's not as basic as just always stay in one front all day long. All right, so single back bunch ace. Again, so I'm also working a little bit of my passing game here. I won't go into too much detail. I don't give away too many secrets, but I do have different fronts built. I put my guys in different spots on the D line. I switch them, I move them around, I rotate them, depending on the front here. Okay, so wide and over, it's the opposite with my defensive line. Just in case it's a pass, and I'm trying to do something a little bit different now to try to get more pass rush, is to remember when did they pass? They passed, and what front was I in? And then I can adjust later on. So right now, versus a compressed set, guys. I think I call cover three seam, but a lot of times I'm not always in cover three seam. All right, this one's a hard flat. Hard flat is good versus bunch when you think it's quick game. Okay, I'm thinking that this guy is going to throw something to the flat, right? So I'm hoping that these guys underneath can play hard flat, and I actually use the corner. because I know that this guy likes to throw corner routes. Okay, so I'm thinking somebody's going to run a corner, and I don't want this computer player to play too heavy, too high over the top. I'm actually going to try to use her and almost like man it up myself. That was the thought process on this, just so you know. Did it work out? Maybe not, but so I'll let you know that's what I was thinking. I don't even know if I squeezed the line here. I think I called. Let me see, nickel over three. If I think it's not if I think it's a pass, you're gonna see me keep my guys wide, right? So this is just regular nickel over, but I didn't squeeze anybody. I let them just work their pass rush, right? So we're good there. So right there on this play, I think I had to make the adjustment during the game. I didn't do it pregame. Bosa's my left end on screen, right? He uses a pass rush. I try to see some of that stuff because that's where resistance bars start to grow. So if he comes out and passes now, like you probably will on 3rd and 12, I don't want Bosa to be in the same spot. I'm going to try to move him to the other side. All right. Trey White flex is one of those 3-by-1 formations that's really tough, but it is a passing situation. I'll talk more about like how I call things in certain situations later on. But cover two, nope, I didn't. I called cover three seam. Cover two is usually one of my favorite calls, so I kind of just worked against tendency there. Now this play is a little bit screwed up, but let me see if I got what I wanted. Yes. So do have it set on this front. So when I'm in a wide front, that's why I called it. Bosa's over here naturally on this side of the defense. Okay. So again, I'm trying to work different alignments in my interior, the same thing. Trying to not let the offense build up resistance points throughout the game. I won't go into much detail on this play. I don't know. My opponent they run a play where you're going to see here, they're going to run like a double crossing route type of play, which to me is good versus man. We do have a zig, which shouldn't do much. And I think this is guys running vertical. This is going to be good versus man coverage. I don't think it's going to be good versus zone unless you just think you're going to possibly get an open hole there. Treat that like a high-low. But for me, though, I do a poor job at my user, and I should have stayed inside number three. I am playing three buzz. So I was hoping that this safety over here would come into the middle more, but let's be honest. I should have, in my league, we can't move our user players. And I should have tried to help my guy out a little bit, gain a little bit more time, work through the inside part of the shoulder of this number three, and then I would have potentially made him hold the ball a little longer. But like me sprinting out, he just felt he could just throw that ball in there. So poor defense. Wasn't expecting that. That's a little bit of the route that I was talking about. This is a little bit different. I'm not sure how you teach that, but it is what it is. Okay, so here we get a widespread offense here. I'm also working a little bit of disguise here. I get caught. I have no idea. I think I was trying to get to cover three. I did it the last second. So just from a disguise standpoint, sometimes I'll do this, but I won't do it against him because he will quick snap you. But I try to back everybody up, right? I'm using the safety here. This is actually cover six, but it's going to get to cover three. So what's going to end up happening is that I'll play the middle. This guy would come down and play the flat, and he'll come back inside the box. But because he quick snapped me, we don't see the full thing happening. But I'm trying to keep that nice too high shell by backing everybody up to start. So that's a little bit different. That's something new. That's a little bit more of the Fangio stuff that I kind of have a little influence in my system now, trying to work on it. But it actually ends up working out because I got to cover three, watch this linebacker that will become the hook player. Nobody blocks him. He's aligned so wide, and he quick snapped me. It actually worked out for me. But up front, just so you guys know, I usually try to set the three technique away from the back. Um, in this case, it probably didn't matter. You know, getting a 4 yard stop is huge, man. I feel like that's like a big win in Madden, right? All right, trips Y flex, 3-by-1. So I always get into my big nickel package. Anybody that knows me knows this. I'm actually playing quarters here. You're gonna see me kind of get caught with this guy here. I'm hoping that it's a zig route combination or something like that, but it ends up being an Indy 7 route combination. And this guy's running again a corner route, right? Against technically quarters coverage. This is my quarters player that should be there a little sooner, but I do have him starting in the middle of the field, so it's a little bit screwed up. This guy should be here. He gets broken tackled. Again, this goes back to I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this route. It's a corner route thrown early, like a seam route. It is what it is. I'm not going to stress it. Now I know that when I play this guy, I can't run this I can't run this disguise coverage because he's throwing routes in the middle of the field almost like he's reading blitz. He's reading leverage, right? And again, if this was a better player, if this was Fred Warner, he would never do this, but he's gutting a ball in there to a guy doing that. I mean, if I can somehow put a safety here, it might be better. Like if I was playing regular three buzz with rotation strong with a the hook curl player as a safety, I don't know if he'll throw that. But anyway, I got to play this guy again, so I'm not going to give away all my secrets. But anyway, he bumps off of people, gets a touchdown, a play that should have never happened. That's bad. That is bad. All right, let's just jump on the offensive side. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you guys don't care about offense, just keep on going to defense. All right. I just want to give guys a little bit of both. As long as I can go, I may have to cut this a little shorter than I want once dinner time comes. All right, so let's see where I'm at right now. You're gonna see a lot of. I love 2x2 spread. You're gonna see under center as well, and then I'll jump into 3x1. And I think in this game I start using motion later in the game. Okay, here goes just 12 personnel. This is what, ace close, I feel like. Whatever it's called, I forgot what it's called, like wing close. Yeah, I don't like the look here. I was looking for, so like this isn't just an old school example, but it's in my book. This is just the doubles concept, right? So I'm just working double outs, spray outs on both sides, and then I have really this post, right, against open middle field open, which it looks like from the shell that this could be cover two. Right now, what I end up doing is putting this guy on a drag to kind of get that high-low concept. It's almost like running drive, but it's not. It's really just uses a check down. I could use the back and do the same thing. I don't like the actual original angle route play. That's not one of my favorite plays, just in the West Coast offense in general. And I feel like the way that guy runs the route takes too long to get open. But I was expecting him to give me like cover four or cover three. I didn't get it. At least the look doesn't look like it. So I think I got spooked out and I called a different play here. You don't want to throw a pick after on first play of a new series. I think I just run. I think I just run the ball. Yeah. So again, guys, you'll see me talk about this a little bit more and more. But the only thing, if you're in the league where you consider it to be like, this is my league, okay? So I have to make this clear. We are a sim league, right? We have sim rules. Now we try to we don't subscribe necessarily to the fact that you have to have um declared plays that you run. And if you do, you can't run those plays. Now I think most leagues that do that, like one of the leagues I'm in, it took about three times. So if you plan on calling something more than three times, which is a good rule, you need to declare it. And I like that. But in my playbook, I do have dive. And I talked about it. Dive is a good play for me that's versus cover zero answer. So if somebody's giving me an all out pressure look, I like dive. I like to run it weak. If somebody's giving me, if I'm in a situation like I was there, where I don't really have anything else to go to, I might use that dive play there. But I try not to. I really don't because I really do because the whole adaptive AI stuff on defense, I'm now wasted. Like I really can't use that dive play again. I wanted to save it for a different situation. So a lot of times my pass plays, I kind of just execute them anyway. A lot of them have safe options. In the back of my brain, if I have a running quarterback, I kind of tell myself, if you don't like the look or you get spooked out of the look, your first read's not there, second read's not there, think about running or getting rid of the ball. You know what I'm saying? So just think about that. So that situation, I don't like me using my dive play there in that situation. You're going to see dive in my playbook in a lot of formation. It's not because I like to run it a lot. It's I just need to have it as an audible a lot in case people start cheesing me and start blitzing me, and I don't feel like always throwing the ball because that's the first answer is to throw the ball. All right, here we go. I give him just a generic 2x2 all go. I put a cat on the right hand side, come back. He gives me a cover three. I think I threw that a little bit late using my Mississippi system. Yeah, that's a little bit late. So this ball probably should come out on two. One throw, two throw. Yeah, it's a tick late. That's why it almost got picked. Either seam should be open. I went away from the user. So it would be again, you know, throw it to two. That's your first read here. And if you don't like that, then you're looking for the comeback next to your check down. Okay. So that's pretty much how we work that progression. It's all go, right? This is what you want. We get a cover three look. So get lucky. This is the good thing about, I would say this too, guys. If you're going to run the Texas Coast, spend on offensive players. Don't be cheap. Get yourself a good tight end. Get yourself three good receivers. Get yourself two good tight ends. I like to have a really good young tight end that I'm trying to develop. Get that going, and then make sure you even have a fullback. So when you get in the I formation, you're not caught out there. All right, so this is one of the rare times you ever see me play like this. Ever see me play like this. And again, I do stuff against the good players sometimes a little different. When I'm in the zone, I don't stay basic. So this one I actually call the under front. So in my defense, I have the under and the over. I usually use these two defenses versus offensive formations that are tough to stop. And I'm trying to really kind of get a 5-man front, and I'm trying to also sometimes blitz it. So my formation slide is one of the toughest plays in football in this game. And I know a lot of people like to run weak on the halfback blast to the twin receiver side. So I gave him a front here where I was going to try to get a pressure to basically blitz where I know the ball was going, which is right here. So I'm kind of giving him this. I'm giving him this overlook, and we're bringing pressure, and he ends up cutting it back. So that's the bad thing about when you send too many guys on one side. In general, there's a cutback lane, but he was smooth with it. Good for him. Good job by him. I formation close. I come out here now. Okay, so again, also over and over wide, I have my defensive ends are flipped. Sometimes I might even put like an extra if I have a good third defensive lineman. I'll put him in there. But again, this is what I somebody just talked about this recently about putting a three technique away from the tight end. You could do it more. I like to do it versus two backs. That's the reason why I asked the question to him. I'm still waiting on his answer. I've done this for years too. So people that like to, a lot of people who like me, like my offense, right? He technically, the funny thing is that he's running the Cowboys offensive playbook, just so you guys know, if you didn't know that. He's running the stock playbook right now. And I know the big play is this, right? It's the inside zone play. There might be a split zone play or stretch. Like those are the plays. Duos in there as well. So he's basically running, the offense that we run, but just the plays might be different. So I'm putting the three technique to the weak side, which I would do. So I'm basically in an underfront, but I'm still in an untraditional stack box, three bubble backers. I'm not playing under like I would where if this guy was reduced and this guy's on the line of scrimmage, right? I'm doing it this way. So this is very unusual. If you ever do decide to do this though, you have to use this guy, okay? I think that guy's the most important guy, or maybe this guy, okay? Or maybe a safety coming down late. But you need to fill that wide open B gap, okay? It's kind of almost like the B gap and the C gap is wide open. Now, if you fit fast against run here, these guys usually fit fast with you, okay? So and doing it out of an base overfront, gives you a little bit better angles with your D line. So anyway, let's just look at it. I just wanted to tell you this is the reason why I'm doing this. I'm actually calling cover two, so I'm actually kind of like hedging my bets here a little bit, thinking it's a play action pass. It was. And I get right to the spot and don't make the play because I have a linebacker, as you see me run off into the seats. So run, he gets me, right? Boom. I kind of go for a couple steps, but I kind of had a feeling it could be play action. I probably should have robot it, right now. You can see I'm taking too long. So, yeah. What is it? I mean, roll back. What is it? Roll back out and turn, whatever the hell robot means. But just get to that spot. That should have been there. I'm surprised he still threw that ball, but he took a shot there. All right, so here we go. Now, he gives me strong close. This is another exception to the rule. So the wide nine, 4-3 wide nine, not good versus offset back strong. Okay. So anytime you get strong formation, you want to now get into just the overset. And a lot of times you're going to see me now definitely spread my linebackers, which only thing it really does is get this guy to come out here. And then I'm going to use the backside linebacker, depending on the coverage. So let me just see what I hear. I don't know if I actually do spread my linebackers. I don't. I'm actually working on disguise here. So poor job by me. I should have definitely been a little bit better with the run fit there, but you can see I don't really give up that many yards. He runs a straight up dive against that defense and only gets 3 yards. So my interior guys are good. They're not great. They're actually not even that good, to be honest with you. Okay, so this is the only bad thing about running a lot of man to man. So he gives me the same strong formation, but this one is from the twin set. All right. By the way, I was anticipating this guy running a lot of compressed sets because he did it to me the first game we played, but I think he's cautious that compressed sets kind of piss me off, so he kind of went to a little bit more spread. But I'm playing cover one here, guys. There's really nothing to do besides play with the middle linebacker and help the feet on this damn underneath route, on this shallow. I don't know why I'm playing with the safety. I'm actually looking like I'm trying to work disguise again. Let me see what I'm doing here. That's what I did. I'm doing a disguise the way if you're playing for a league where you can only move one player, the one that you use, You have to do this. You have to back guys up and then change your defense, which basically doesn't allow this guy here to come running down like he would if you called regular cover one. So I come out in some sort of split safety shell, like cover six or covers four, I back everybody up. Then I control the guy that would go to the middle, and I just stay in the middle. So I'm just doing my job there. I'm fine. But overall, versus this play, this is going to be a hard play to stop. I wish they would banjo this though. Actually, when he goes out, he stays in. Yeah, they did banjo it. Actually, this was not supposed to be his guy. That's why he got beat. But he wouldn't be able to cover it from there either. So whatever. There are times in this front, to be honest with you, what my correction would be is I don't really want to flip this front because I'm scared of outside zone. But you could flip the front, put the three technique over here. This player here would now actually have man the tight end. And he may not play it the best, but he's going to be in better position. And then I can play with this free safety over here and kind of use my quarters track rule and play the middle third from there. Okay. And that also allows me to maybe fit the alley on the outside run a little bit better too if they run outside. So again, no, I would probably play zone. And that was another thing I wanted to set up also is I'm playing man over assignment a lot in this game. So corners will come over versus slot formations. And then I will play zone out of it later. So we'll talk about that later on. I get some actual big hits on it. So I gave up two easy touchdowns. I don't like how I gave up those touchdowns, but I don't think I played horrible defense. That's the funny thing. Anytime you give up touchdowns, but you feel like you played decent defense, you got to give yourself a little bit of a pat in the back. It could be worse, even though you might be losing or whatever. Just live with it. All right, let's go. Speed it up a little bit here. So this offense again, if you understand, there's going to be motion, right? From 3x1 to 2x2, there's 2x2 motion to 3x1, and then we are going to about 1/4 of the offense, guys. We're going to be running screens, RPOs, bubbles, some quick game. It's going to be in there, all right. Second and long, here goes the play action. Again, this is the doubles concept. So we're working double outs, good versus single high looks like this, good versus cover three looks. And this is going to be cover three unless it's a blitz. And my little secret, you guys know it. If you know it, you know it. But I can tell by looking at the full defense that it's some sort of cover three. This is actually cover three seam. So there's a little bit of a trusted throw. I took it, got it. There's either going to be three seam or three sky. All right, here goes another personality play, just a weak dive play. The fullback is a little glitchy there. Okay, so it's funny because I actually could have ran the ball here against this, right? It's not dive, but it's similar. Zone is not great. I don't think zone is great against all-out pressure, but this is obvious all-out pressure look, right? Why is it obvious all-out pressure look, guys? Well, these guys here are standing at how deep? 10 yards, right? It's not a show blitz assignment where if that was the case, then these corners would have walked up too. So it could, why would you don't know if it's show blitz or cover zero, you know. And that's the big thing too, is the corners. These corners, look at their leverage on the receiver. They're slightly inside leverage. Inside leverage. When you see the corners standing over the receivers and they're slightly inside leverage, it's usually cover zero all out pressure. If you saw this, even though the safeties were up and these corners are standing outside, even if they're in a press position, they're slightly outside leverage, that means it's probably some sort of zone. Okay. So just know the difference there. So I get to a route anytime I get all out pressure, my favorite answer is throwing out routes to two. Sometimes it's throwing drags to the tight end or slant routes to the receivers or shallows to the receivers, but sometimes in general. So this is a play I already have in the book, and then also curls, right? So I have it out here. This is basically a Texas route combination that's in already with one of the play calls. And then this was a comeback. I think I put him on a curl. Okay, just that's a good man answer. Another good man answer. And there's a back staying in. So we're good here. We're good to go. Throw the out. All right. I had time in the pocket. I was able to not, I didn't have to throw that on like 1 or 2 second timing. I was able to hold it to almost 3 second timing because everything was picked up. All right. All right. Looks like I'm back into my play call sheet here. Let's see what we get. Yep. I'm going to work with a little bit of a jet. I like to run jet early in the game so that later on I can use potentially a jet play action play. All right. I get to the 3x1 nub on second and long. I think I'm sticking to the script here. What am I doing here? I forgot what I called. I think I just called halfback base. That's all my script. So power is in there. I like to run more dual, but there aren't that many dual plays in the game. They need to add that. Maybe next year they will. The play he ran is actually off of my defense, running that linebacker blitz. Works pretty well if it's the right linebacker. Yep, it is. Again, I would shift my D line though to the left or squeeze him. So he didn't. He doesn't do that. But that defense is actually pretty good versus inside runs. But with the guy pulling, I should even out, and the play should be just like it was there. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be for a loss. Okay. Okay. This is a play that I was just talking about. I'm going to actually clip this if I can for the guys. I was talking about it yesterday, and this is I kind of have this in there. Just I don't even know why I have it in there, but whatever. It's a drive concept to me. You could also look at this as a dig concept, as a backside concept. Okay, so you get a dig route. This route right here, you can treat that as a drive. Most drive routes actually come from more, ends of a tight formation, so you can get a quick triangle read here on the backside. But I'm kind of using this more like indie, or like the big play that I talked about in the Manning offense. But again, this read here is simple. We have a flood combination over here, okay? So one, okay? You're shallow here on second. For me, my two is there. Most people will say three, and then what? The back four. Now, I don't like the swing of four. I'd rather him check through. So maybe I need to change that. But for me, guys, I'm working really, again, I'm looking in this situation. This is how it is. Coverage wise, if I know the coverage like two man, easy, I know I'm going to one. This one is a little bit different. It's split safety coverage, nickels inside leverage. I don't know if this is quarters. I don't know. This guy, that corner can get open versus quarters. So really what I'm looking for, and this is real simple, is what I call free access to one. I'm looking for space. I'm kind of using a little bit of a air raid type of thing here where I'm not just reading this guy like how most people would do it. I'm also reading because this could be covered too, and he steps down, right? And if I'm just reading him, I'm like, oh, he's open, right? So I'm looking more for space and grass here, what I call free access. And if it's there, I'm probably going into it on a two throw. If it's not there for whatever reason, though, which I would know pretty much like in the first second or two, then I'm just looking for just my high lows. And I'm actually going to throw this different now. This is the new way I'm doing it with, I think, how they're teaching it. It just looks like it on film. But this route and this route are two reads, one or either one. So when I come back here to the middle, whichever guy is open, I'm prepared to throw it to either. I'm not going to, is he open? Okay, cool. Is he open? Okay, cool. Okay, is he open? No. I'm going to get sacked, or I could get a user that kind of sits here and baits and then runs back here late. So then now they're right and I'm wrong. So that's kind of the timing of it. I actually don't remember what happened on this play. So let's see what happens here. Hope I don't look stupid. This is fun. Okay, so no free access to me. So I actually make a read here that I probably have gotten better at over the time. I probably just got spooked out, right? So let's look at this. The first corner route, is it free access, one throw, two throw? Decision. I did have it. I had it. I had the first read and I didn't take it. Okay, so that's my fault. I assumed it was quarters, and then here's another thing too. If somebody's playing match quarters, right? This nickel will get hands on too. So that's a little bit of a tip. The safety's flat footed. I should have seen this. Because I'm looking at space, as soon as he got hands on him, I think I just said, nah, it's cover three or whatever. I'm good. I don't want to throw it. Then my eyes went back to this. Now, this is so happening so late, though. That's my only issue right now, where I think a true drive route would have been better. So now that I think about it, maybe a drive route would have been better, but maybe it's not. But if I'm coming back to my second read right now, it's either this guy or this guy, right? And now it needs to be thrown, it needs to be decided right now. And you see what happens with the guy here? Let me just show you. Watch the user. This is the reason why I don't like drive. Guys are asking me about this or this type of concept. Is people do that. People pretend to cover your first guy, then they go back to your second guy, right? And if you're just playing like, okay, I'm playing sound football, you throw it to the second guy because you saw this guy do that, right? Now, if you know people do that, you could always play against it and say, well, since sometimes he pretends to take away the first guy, I'm just going to wait on the first guy or the low guy and throw it to him late. But then now what's happening? You're taking time in the pocket. Okay. So it's just funny. I just had this conversation and I just literally talked about I don't like running this play for this reason that happened here is that people can muddy up drive concepts. So is it better if I would have had this guy run over faster if he was a line closer, like a Z close, and he runs across? I don't know. I'll get off of this topic. I don't want to spend 14 minutes on one play, but this computer player here can also cover shallow. So do I go to my check down? It's just too easy. Quarters coverage is too easy to cover drive concepts. It just doesn't. It's not good for it. You got to win on the outside. And I missed my first read, and that was it. I should have thrown this route. The safety's not going to make a play if I throw this on time. But here's the big secret, right? And why I like this offense, and the reason why I'm sticking with it. If you have a quarterback that has just 75 speed or higher, and he can scramble a little bit, that's all you need. You know what I'm saying? You don't like the read, just run, bro. Dak does a good job of this in real life. Sometimes he gets him in trouble, but most of the time last year, it actually helped out. He extended plays. It's part of the McCarthy offense. Having Aaron Rodgers, same thing. I came out in this formation and run stretch because I want to set him up for a play action playoff of this later. Okay. So when I get into the red zone or close to the red zone, I start looking at my passing plays that I might want to use. And then I start running the ball out of those pass plays in the first and second quarter. Now, if there's some momentum, I might use that pass play and go after it. But that's kind of why you see me not even looking at I'm looking at the formations here. I'm not looking at the favorites anymore because my red zone shot plays are not in the favorite section. And here goes, well, I think, oh, there goes one of them. So I said, screw it. Quick snapped them a little bit there. Could I have? Oh, I had a touchdown. What the hell? Didn't see it. It's the first time I'm watching this game, guys. All right, so this play here is just a shot play. All right, plays off of. It's actually really supposed to play off a regular boot, but I haven't thrown regular boot because usually when you fake this way, you boot opposite, right? But this one's a fake this way and roll out that way, which kind of gets users all screwed up. And everybody kind of fakes. He fakes and goes this way, and then you get you over there. So you get a nice triple high low boot play. Usually this guy kind of gets open. You got to peep it. If you see it open, give it to him. You're looking for open grass on this play. You got to be a trusted throw, okay? Looking for holes in the zone. Now you're also looking at this corner because this corner sometimes jumps up on guys. He gets all bugged out, and this actually looks like it's two invert the way they're playing it. So I just learned versus the backside of two invert. This is the way to freaking. That's the route. Look at that. Look at that guy wide open over there. So I didn't like it. It was cloudy. Obviously, this guy was covered, so I just do the check down. I missed one. I turned one down, as JTO would say. I turned it down. Oh man, that's frustrating. All right, here we go. We got wing formation. I came out in this earlier. I turned it down. Oh, he gives me another cover zero look. So I should get into. I actually do decide to keep this on. Okay, here we go. So instead of running dive, which I'm surprised I didn't, I'm in the red zone. It's third. Oh, this is what it is too. I think this is one of my third down plays in general, but it's not a red zone play. So this is going to be insider information, guys. I got to give this to you guys on this here, but red zone third down. You know what? I'll leave it alone. Let me not talk about it. This is an unusual play for me here. I'm just gonna leave that alone. Guys on Patreon, hit me up. I'll talk to you about this later. Touchdown. All right. Hit me up if you want to ask about that play and the reason and the philosophy and where it needs to be. So I think I talked about it a little bit on my Patreon video a little bit yesterday and giving you guys some inside information. All right, Z close. So Z close to me is no different than somebody running ace Z close. This guy right here, this little fullback, to me is almost like another tight end. So I'm always very cautious of this. All right. Now, if this was the two tight end set, I would not be spread. I would squeeze my D line if I'm in wide formation. I don't want to have these C gap bubbles be so big. Okay. So I should do that here. Also, in general, I think about run plays this way, but then I also think about if somebody like I played a guy earlier this week who runs a lot of pass plays out of this, you got to think of it almost like a 2x2 set. Okay. But let me just see what I get into here. I'm not even sure what I do here on this one. Yeah, I'm kind of messed. Okay, I went back to. Okay, so here I went back to the philosophy of I should have just squeezed. That's one of the options. But what I did was I actually flipped the line so that the three techniques away from the tight end again here. So you're going to see me kind of get into the understack look. All right. But you can see here, I don't like. This is what I don't like. Watch this guy right here. How he just stands there and the fullback comes up and gets him. That's the problem. That's why when you're in these defenses, I should blitz that guy or use the open side gap guy. Okay. I got lucky there, but that was a bad job by that player. I am also in man aligned, so my alignments with my safety is a little bit different. If I wasn't in man aligned, I would have had a safety down to that side. So just so you know. So we'll talk about that later. If you are going to flip your defense, you should use man aligned so that your safety can balance you out. That's a tip for another day. All right, I'm in right here. I'm in under. I'm not in under. I'm in big nickel over G. Oh, this one got me. All right, so another inside tip here, okay? So this is big nickel over G. I'm gonna play cover one a lot, and I think my opponent knows that, right? I'm gonna here play actually cover three, but I have man aligned. So guys who know me know that I do this a lot as well. So just because you see the safety over here covering the tight end doesn't mean that it's necessarily man. In this case, I don't get any man assignment on that guy. He comes running back over. This looks funny as hell, but actually can work for you. All right. But for me as a user, just so you know, I'm thinking here, I have to play hook, to curl, to flat. I'm pretty much going to say screw the hook. All right. I'm not really worried about the hook. If there was a tight end here on the line of scrimmage, I would kind of worry about a drag or something coming over here. But I'm not really worried about it in this situation. I want to get underneath the curl. And then I want to intercept it because I'm thinking that he thinks it's cover one and most people run curls. So I'm thinking, let me get to the curl and then I'll react up to the flat late. But watch this route, right? Let me kind of go a little bit slower than usual here, right? Let this thing play. Look how deep it goes, right? At this point, a curl would have stopped, and I would have kept on going and trying to make a pick on it. But he found some route that the guy runs deeper than usual. When I seen the keep on going, I'm like, oh, so you see me kind of heading there, and I kind of gave up on it by now because I didn't think that was going to be a curl. So he found some route that is, how deep is that? 28, 38. I mean, that's like almost like a 15-yard curl, man. And I'm like, what? That's almost a 20-yard curl, actually. It is a 20-yard, almost 20-yard curl. It's like 18 yards. So he found some play. Good for him. I got like that deep curl. It says it, deep curl. So good for him. I don't even know what this is. I might have to go look in the book because I think he's supposed to be a stock playbook of the Cowboys. If this is in the Cowboys book, it kind of, I mean, it's a good play. It actually, this is how the Cowboys run their Pumas. Okay, so Puma is a deep curl for the Cowboys in their system. So I'm really curious now. If anybody else is watching this, go look at the Cowboys playbook and see if this is part of their book. Because I'm really curious if it is or if it isn't. All right. All right, here we go. I give him a little quarters look right here out of big nickel over G. It looks like man. Oh no, this is actually three butts, isn't it? I don't know what this is, but we don't have anybody walked out. I got screwed there. That's on me. Let me see what I was in there. I was in palms, and that's the bad thing about you can't use big nickel over G versus spread 2x2. If you do, you have to work some. You got to go user the apex player to the weak side and try to get it to trying to play around. All right, so this is my what I would call bubbles in the system of Fangio, but I don't want to really call it that. Basically all out pressure. But your blitzers sometimes, well, if they get blocked, they would get back and fall back into the hook areas and whatever. So the reason why I'm working this to go against the meta plays that I've seen more often, right? So all out pressure. What I'm going to see a lot is what crossing route by him and maybe some sort of flat route by him. That happens a lot. If that happens and I'm in this situation, I get a banjo usually by these two guys, right? So it works out. This guy plays him and he sits on the crossing route, right? I've already made some mistakes this year that if this guy goes vertical at all and this guy goes to the flat, I need to, they're not going to banjo this, okay? So I need to go get this guy. I need to basically man him up. That's kind of like how I'm looking at it. I probably should put a man assignment on there. But if that's not the case, okay, the other route that happens a lot is somebody runs a crossing route. This guy usually runs a corner. These guys clear out, do whatever, right? Actually, a lot of times here, sit right there, right? And then this guy might stay in and block, right? He's not going to really run out to the flat, or he might run a wheel. Okay, so if we do, by the way, get a wheel and this guy runs across the field, we're going to get a banjo again. So that's covered by the defense. All I'm trying to say is that I'm looking for if he goes vertical and he goes to the flat, I hope. That's my first job. If none of that, if that doesn't happen, if he does anything inside, right, it doesn't just go vertical. I'm just going to basically sit and wait on a crossing route coming from the other side. which is probably going to be out leveraged. The thing you need to have is a good, great nickel in this situation. Okay, playing man to man on that guy. All right. So just that's what I'm looking at here. Let me see what happens on this play. I don't remember. It's like I'm trying to work banjos and play man to man, not really worried about the pressure, but I do give a little bit of that guy running through the B gap in case it's a run play. And that's what happens there. Okay, so I said all that to say when I get in the red zone, you see me use double press. You see me use pressures more. I'm not even messing around. Like I need these linebackers to fit, and that's what I'm doing. A 5-man pressure look with a whole bunch of banjos and combos on the field, cover zero style. But I'm also needing him to fit so that he can't just run through the B gap and get an easy touchdown on me. All right, so that's why I do that. This is a little bit more of again just trying to be Madden smart here, guys. And he runs through, and I sit in the backside. Thank goodness, because what am I? I kind of just followed the back there. I mean, I knew it was a run. Like I had said, if he went to the flat right now, obviously I would go to the flat with him. But as soon as he goes to the left, I'm just kind of sitting in the middle. I'm looking for run first, and I get it, and that's it. So tackle right there. Okay. All right, get some red zone defense. Double Z close. Let's see what I get to here. I think I run the same shit, do I? No, I don't. All right, so this time I'm actually playing cover 6. I don't understand why they do this now. I don't mind it at all. They kind of give a nice little disguise there, but I don't know. Anyway, guess it doesn't really matter too much. All right, so I'm playing cover 6 and I'm playing the backside. So yeah, nothing crazy there. Hate that. Hate that. Hate that. Let me see if I clicked on fast enough. Nope, I did. I think I tried to hold down. If you hold down conservative tackle X on PlayStation, usually that doesn't work. But maybe it's just he's such a good player. But I hate giving up flat routes converted into first downs. That bothers me. You know what I mean? All right, doubles hip, doubles hip. I think I do hit him with another version. Oh, okay, here. So this one here is just nickel wide. Walk safeties down. This is kind of like just me trying out some stuff. So I'm basically going to end up playing 2-man out of this safety down walk. I'm trying to get him to not want to run the ball and to pass the ball. Yeah, this is the one that pissed me off. All right, so this is man to man here. I got caught in a D lineman, but he's running a wheel route on this guy with this guy, and it's man to man. But yet he threw it early, and I'm not sure. He didn't wait for him to break. It's not a flat route. Maybe it is a flat. No, I don't think that's a flat route. I do believe that's a wheel route. Yes, it is. So to me, again, we're kind of taking advantage of the game here. We're not throwing a wheel. We're throwing an out route, making this like an out route. So just put him on an out route. You know what I'm saying? That right there, oh, God, maybe my linebacker's not fast enough, but he is a superstar. He's one of my better cover guys on this team. That's a little bit frustrating when that happened right there. You know what I mean? So, okay. So we're ended with this one here, I think. Again, using the cover zero pressure, I do use it here to use kind of like a good run front and also be able to cover everybody idea. Okay, so this is 2x2 spread. I'm at 46 normal, and I'm calling cover zero. What that does is take your 2 corners and your 2 safeties and covers the 3 receivers and the tight end. Okay, and then who actually covers the running back? I forget exactly. Hold on. Actually, one of your linebackers will be. Well, am I screwed up here? Yeah, 2 inside backers. Oh yeah, there's a no. Am I messed up here? Am I messed up? Or am I not thinking right now? Yeah, one of your linebackers will have to cover onto um the running back. That's what it is. Okay, cool. That's fine. 2 backers blitzing, and what I end up doing is where in this case right here, usually I would flip this. So I'm a little bit wrong here. Okay. I want the 3 technique to be away from the running back. Didn't do that right. But it's okay though, because I have a blitzer hopefully going through the B gap. So all these gaps are canceled out. The only gap that's open is this A gap. Usually I don't like to do it like this. I'd rather it be the B gap because I'm playing man on him. But it doesn't matter. If he runs the ball, he comes inside, I'm hitting this gap right now. That's my job. If he goes to the flat, I'm playing a man to man. So I'm basically like manning him up with the other backer. Okay. Just so you know. And that's a poor job by me. You see how I got myself so wide on this? I'm used to this front being flipped opposite and I have the B gap. But because I have the A gap, I went too wide. I should be sitting right here because of the gap that's open, and I'm not. And I end up getting a touchdown truck. But again, what it goes back to when you play any type of using the 4-6 normal and even the 44, but usually the 4-6 normal, it's like playing the same principles as a lot of the 4-3 wide when you're playing cover one and cover three. It's 8-man spacing, okay? But this one makes everybody, this front right here makes everybody stand closer. But the main thing is that you still want to you still want to bring five guys. You don't want to be sitting there and just not bring anybody and just sitting back because the game doesn't react fast enough. All right. All right. Well, this game, just to show you, went all the way down to the wire. It went back and forth, giving up touchdowns on both sides. I'll make this available to public if you guys want to watch the whole thing. I'm not trying to gain any sympathy, but I'm pretty sure my last couple plays here, which again, I'm glad I had enough plays for these situations. All right, I run a little play here. Oh, nope, I checked this one too. A good old 7 stop play, which I talked about in my update. I'm a big fan of this play. This is a little bit more of a Shanahan style. That should have been a touchdown. Computer made a nice play for him. And then also the next play, I just go with a 7 angle route over here. And I throw the 7, and my quarterback decides to throw it weird and out of bounds. That play might get scrapped. I have a theory why that happens on that play, so that play might be scrapped, just so you know. And then third down, let's see what happened here. I think I make a mistake here. Yeah, I go with this play. I probably had the what do you call it? I probably could have forced this ball. I probably have to high pass it or something. But he just sends a single linebacker pressure, and the dude comes scot free, which is just unbelievable. But this is kind of like Mad Blitz One. Anybody that knows me from back from talking about it, it's actually not like Mad Blitz One because this guy's coming from the right hand side. Usually, it comes from the same side as the three technique. So whatever. I don't know what happens here. He just sends a blitz and it works out for him because of the formation. And my offensive line, I guess, is just trash. So hate to see that. And then the last play here, I think I run a good old post wheel combination. You got to call it when you need it, especially when you have a good tight end. I probably should have given him the ball. I did. Okay, I gave him a chance. I think I made the right decision there. The dig was not going to be open. That's the right decision. A little cheesy, but didn't get it. It is what it is. And I lose that game to a good player. That should have been the game should have been tied. We should have been going into. I might have gone for two. You know what I mean? So whatever. I'll play him again in a different league when I'm using the Fangio defense. And he's a 6-1 Dolphins right now. So I'll find out about that. I will post a Fangio game when I get a good one. I played a guy. I might post that one Fangio game. This guy in MGL that he and I had a little back and forth. I might post it. I think I played pretty well on offense. So I'm on defense. Offensively, he played me a lot of quarters, and I didn't make enough adjustments. So I will talk to you guys later. Long video. I think some guys might want to just hear some of this stuff. I do this on my Patreon enough, at least weekly from now on. I'm probably going to try to do it 3 or 4 times. And then I'm also going to give some live commentary while the game is going on. If I don't curse enough and act a fool, I kind of post those games as well. So guys on Patreon will get that as well. So just want to put this out there, long form video. We got to do it every now and then of some Madden and try to, talk about some of the techniques I'm doing. The guy that I'm playing might watch this. I want him to. And I think he'll learn from it as well. All right. Talk to you later, man. Peace.